We are back with another simple but not basic video. Yes, we're talking about 10 sweet and masculine fragrances that you must try this fall. Is that the title? That's what it says. Is this a top 10 fall fragrances video? Which I haven't really done in a while. Maybe, but not really. It is kind of specific. There's other types of fragrances I would consider if I was making that type of video. And over the past couple years, I've integrated that idea into a vlog called the Fall Vlog, which I probably will do again this year. I haven't quite decided yet. It's a lot of work, but if you want to see it, let me know. As we do every month, this video is sponsored by Fragrancebuy.ca, your favorite Canadian fragrance discount site and mine. If you don't know about them, they are one of the top places you can find online for a fantastic and ever expanding selection of discounted fragrances from niche, designer, and even some indie brands. Lots of clone fragrances if you're into that. And honestly, some of the best prices you will find. Great customer service, awesome shipping. They have an awesome loyalty program that you can earn rewards from if you're loyal, because that's what it's for. Just about every fragrance except for one, and that one is actually an honorable mention. All the fragrances I'm going to be talking about can be found at Fragrancebuy.ca, and they will be linked down below. And I believe they've sent me 2 of the fragrances we will be talking about, because they send me a crop of fragrances that I choose every month to feature in content to show you guys and get you interested in some new stuff that maybe you haven't tried yet. In terms of this list, we're not talking about juvenile scents. I'm not looking for bubblegum sweetness. I'm not looking for what I call clubbing trash, which I really should stop saying that, because someone is going to get offended at some point. Maybe today's the day, and if that's you, sorry, but hopefully I cut it out so you won't be offended. We're going for class and what I'd call a mature allure. Not looking to make you smell old. We're just looking for something with a little bit more sophistication. Sweetness can be accomplished in many ways. A lot of the time it's done with an overabundance of tonka bean, vanilla, and synthetic fruits and things like that. Nothing wrong with those scents, but we want more. There is more. Let's jump right into it. Our honorable mention. I have to mention this because this fragrance was truly created, honestly, for the fall time. It does work in summer nights, and I've seen a lot of people who have it say that they wear it for summer nights, and I did that quite a bit myself this year. But fall, which is my favorite season, is what I created this fragrance for. This is my fragrance Second Soul in collaboration with Zaharoff, perfumed by the wonderful Vincent Kuczynski, who also perfumed my first fragrance Brass and Soul. This is me in a bottle. If you want to know my true taste in fragrance, if that matters to you, I don't need words to describe it. I can describe it with scent, and it exists in this bottle, this beautiful colored juice, this beautiful mirrored plate. There's a whole story behind the design. You can check out the video of when I launched the fragrance to learn more about it and why it smells the way it does and the story behind it and all that stuff. But I would be remiss if I did not at least honorably mention it. It gets its sweetness by way of labdanum. So it's more of a resinous, sticky, warm sweetness with leather and smokiness. And there's even a little bit of an aromatic quality from like a icy booziness. It has this kind of dark, masculine barbershop style quality, but with a lot of depth, dimension, lots of development, tobacco, all kind of stuff going on in here. Anyway, there will be a link down below to check out Second Soul. It is limited. I'm not sure if it's going to last through the end of the year. So if you've been sleeping on getting your bottle, now might be the time as we move into fall. That's our honorable mention, my fragrance. All right, let's jump right into the actual list at number 10, and really no particular order here, honestly. This one was sent to me by Fragrancebuy. This is new to my collection, and it's one I've been hearing about for years. I specifically saw Mr. Smelly talking about this fragrance for several years over on his channel, and I always was a little interested, but kind of wrote it off. I'm like, it's probably not very special. I finally had a chance to get it from Fragrancebuy. I didn't buy it. Again, they sent it to me, but it is a very inexpensive fragrance. It's easily the cheapest fragrance on this list. From Jacques Bogart, this is Bogart Parfum. Some of you guys may have this one, may have tried it. It does have a little bit of buzz even today in the community. This fragrance originally came out in 2004. It's almost a 20-year-old scent, but I think it's timeless. This is a sweet, aromatic, kind of masculine profile. I see the color red, or like a pinkish red, a soft red when I wear this. I wore this the past couple days. I really enjoyed it. It has a nice, beautiful, clean, soapy lavender. There is a bit of tonka bean in here, but not an overdose. It is well blended with some wood woods. It ultimately does smell very attractive, but still very masculine. And what it's kind of known for is its performance. It actually performs pretty well. So if that matters to you, you can count on some decent longevity. I can't tell you a number. That's going to depend on many things, but longevity is no slouch here. So that is Bogart Parfum. All right, moving on. This stuff, guys, wow. If you're looking for a warm, spicy, dry, arid, exotic smelling fougere, that's the best way I could describe this. Aiden Bob Egypt. This stuff is so beautiful, so handsome smelling. There's this kind of warm fall spices feel, like a cinnamon nutmeg type of mixture with a cleanliness, with this aromatic freshness, but not quite as soapy or shave cream, shave foamy as a lot of fougeres can be. And there is just this warm depth to it that is so beautiful. I do find it to be a little bit simple, but not basic by any means. It's such a specific scent personality as far as fougeres go, and it has this beautiful sweetness that is still undeniably masculine and definitely worth experiencing if you have not experienced this type of fougere. That is Aiden Bob Egypt. We've got another classic from the early 2000s, maybe around the same time as Bogart Parfum, but by no means the same kind of scent. From Creed, yes, original Santal. One from Creed that is not talked about quite as highly as others from the house these days, but I think this is a beautiful scent. Mont Blanc Individuel technically came out before this. A lot of people say that maybe they copied Mont Blanc. That remains to be completely verified. There's no empirical evidence of it, but we've seen other occurrences that could corroborate it. But nonetheless, this is good stuff. This is great quality. I used to own Individuel, and I do consider this to be a superior scent, if you're asking me. Now, I do have an older formulation of it. This bottle is from 2015, I believe. It is a stronger, richer batch. It's more long lasting, has more presence, but not to say current batches aren't any good and aren't worth checking out. This is a clean lavender fragrance. Lots of clean, soapy lavender, fresh juniper berry, a bit of this almost raspberry-like sweetness, smooth, creamy vanilla, sandalwood, and tonka bean. But I think it's really that juniper berry that gives this fragrance a little bit more of a masculine edge. It gives it some more sophistication, so it's not just a vanilla tonka bean bomb. I love that about it. This is just a vibe. It has such a great, clean, masculine vibe to it, but one that's not pretentious, one that does not beg for attention. However, if you overspray it, it can definitely be too much. Don't be that guy. Original Santal. We have one from the house of Casa Moratti from the Xerjoff universe. They call it 1888, and this is a special fragrance because it is primarily a carnation fragrance. Carnation is a floral ingredient that was used a lot more frequently in men's perfumery, especially in the designer world, in like the late 80s into the 90s. You saw a lot of carnation. You don't see it that much anymore, but it's pretty heavy here. It's a very spicy, somewhat sweet floral ingredient. It's very distinctive. You can't miss it once you smell it. But this is a fragrance that's not for everyone. It is ambery in a way, while still being fresh and floral. There is this warm, almost vanilla-like sweetness to it, but that carnation is what might turn some guys off. But I think it comes off very posh. This is evening out stuff. This is fall, winter for me. I don't spray a ton of it because it can become obnoxious for the wearer if I spray too much. Maybe 4 or 5 sprays is all I need for this, and it just has this beautiful elegance to it that is undeniably masculine, even though it's floral. 1888 from Casa Moratti with my little 30 ml bottle. Isn't it cute? This one is no stranger. Many of you guys have this and already love it. Maybe some of you don't care for it, and that's fine. I happen to be the one who really enjoys this, and it's pretty new to my collection. This is Black Phantom from the house of Killian. Succulent caramel, coffee, chocolate, vanilla, and rum. It is so delicious. It's so thick and creamy, very gourmand, but it does have this darkness to it, almost like this dark, earthy, rough edge that makes it mysterious and keeps it from smelling just way too edible. There is this human quality to it. It smells like something you would smell on a person. I typically would wear this in all black in the evening time when it's not too warm, and especially if I'm gonna have some room to breathe. If not, then I'm not spraying a whole lot. 3 sprays indoors, all I really need to make a statement. Any more than that, you're trying way too hard. Black Phantom. You guys probably already know it though. This is a favorite of the channel. It's one I don't talk about a whole lot more these days, but it's still a fragrance that is a part of my lineage, a part of the continuum of Stay Fresh Productions, and a scent that I'm kind of known for. But I still gotta mention John Varvatos Vintage. This is my original bottle, and I fell in love with this fragrance when I first smelled it in a Sephora and got a bottle not long after that. This is so smooth but confident. This is like a suede leather with this kind of sweet, warm, almost fruity feel. There's a little bit of tobacco in here, a little bit of a quince, I think it's what it is. There's some quince, like an apple-like feel, almost like apple pear, but it is kind of wrapped up in this warm, sweet suede leather and this slightly earthy tobacco. And this is classy, this is mature, this is confident. This is how you make a statement without yelling. You bring people closer. It's not a loud fragrance. It's not going to scream and grab. This is like grabbing a couple drinks, maybe with the guys after work. You don't need a lot of this. 4 or 5 sprays, you're good. Trust me. That's John Varvatos Vintage. This fragrance is what I think could be referred to as the Amber Fougere. We've seen other fragrances kind of like that, and that's what I would call this category. From the house of Bogart Parfum, this is Danger Parfum Cologne. And this does have one element to it I do need to warn you that not everyone's gonna love, and that is cumin. This slightly funky, dry spiciness tucked away in the heart of this, but overall I do classify it as being soapy clean, lots of lavender, reminiscent of that barbershop fougere like feel, but there is this warm vanilla sweetness that is honestly very alluring, very intoxicating in a way. I also have the Parfum version, which is just a denser, richer version, less fresh and aromatic, less diffusive. The Parfum Cologne version is much more diffusive, has much more of a citrusy top, more pop from that lemon. It's very zesty and bright, but still has that sweet warmth, in addition to being clean and again a little sexy. That is Danger Parfum Cologne. This is night out, a little bit playful, but still very classy by way of some oud. Not real oud by any means, but there is a nice quality to it. From Brioni, we have Brioni, what I believe is Eau de Parfum Intense. And something I didn't realize about these absolutely gorgeous bottles in this line is I'm pretty sure they are produced by Lalique. As you guys already know, Lalique is another well-known brand, known for their fragrances, but also known for their glassware. And they do make bottles for other brands, Brioni being one of them. Man. This is like dark, sweet, fresh, but warm apple with some spices and with this slightly dirty oud. Very, very slight. It's very easy to wear, very palatable for especially the Western nose, but it does add some depth and some edge to this scent that again keeps it from smelling too playful, too juvenile, because without it, I do think it would be in that territory. When I first sprayed this on paper, that's what I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting something very youthful, and I'm like, oh, this is just mainstream, just boring crap, because there's a billion scents like that. But it started to set itself apart once I finally put it on skin. I realized, oh, this has some depth. It is alluring and attractive, but it does have some sophistication to it. Save it for a night out, thank me later. Brioni EDP Intense. I think it's safe to say that this fragrance would not exist if it were not for the Dior Homme line. However, it has set itself apart as its own thing, and I do have to acknowledge its beauty. From Valentino Uomo. Now, this I think has the illusion of iris. Iris being the primary face of its personality, this waxy, slightly powdery, some people say cosmetic or lipstick-like floral ingredient. But unlike Dior Homme, where it's very prominent, here it is wrapped up in like a chocolate hazelnut type of feel. There is this beautiful, sweet, delicious, delectable nuttiness that defines the scent with a little bit of leather as it dries. I'm gonna spray this in the air. A little bit of citrus and definitely some dry woods. Oh my gosh, this is so elegant, guys. This is confident though. Some people would say maybe it comes off a little metrosexual. You be the judge of that. But if you feel confident, if you dress well, you wear clothes that fit you, and you spray it on and you forget about it, and you just treat people with respect, you live your life, and you also don't spray too much of it, this enhances your masculine presence if you're looking to do that. Valentino Uomo. And boy, this fragrance, I have to say, exceeded my expectations. It's a relatively new scent. I think it came out last year, 2022. And I tried it in stores when it came out. It was fine. I'm like, okay, this is really good. It reminds me of the original, where it's coming from. It's a flanker of a flanker, but I kind of wrote it off. Fragrancebuy had it in stock. I said, hey, let me get that. And I've loved it. My wife loves it on me, which is a big bonus. From Tom Ford, Noir Extreme Parfum. Yes, flanker of a flanker, flanker of the highly regarded Noir Extreme, which I used to own years ago, and unfortunately I sold it because of peer pressure. I had some people in my life tell me that it reminded them of like an old washed up smoker in a Vegas casino. And once I got that image in my mind, I couldn't get rid of it, and I got rid of that fragrance. I regretted it ever since, but I haven't really gone out of my way to get it back. This captures that magic, the Vegas smoker magic. It's not really here, but I see where people could be coming from with that. There's a deliciousness, that kulfi, which is like that ice cream dessert, warm spices, sweet vanilla. It is alluring, but it does have a maturity to it. It does have this masculinity to it. Not super playful. It's pretty dark. It's something I would wear more dressed up, and I would save it for the evening time. I love this stuff. Even after one wearing, I cannot wait to crack this open more and more as the weather continues to cool down, to just supplement my image when I need it to. Let me know if you've tried Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. This is good stuff. So once again, everything that we talked about, aside from Second Soul, can be found at fragrancebuy.ca. There will be links below that like button, so do check out the fragrances that you haven't tried yet, and let me know down in the comments the ones that I have here that you have tried and whether or not you enjoyed them. Let's talk about it. And thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.